It was my daughter's 12th birthday and I wanted to do something special for her. As a Korean drama fan, she often talks about all the delicious foods in K-dramas, and I thought it would be a great idea to arrange a homemade Korean feast for her. So I chose 12 popular Korean dishes for her 12th birthday, including the kimchis and soup. There were 16 items together in the table. It took me a whole day in the kitchen, but it was all worth it to see her smile. Alhamdulillah, everything turned out delicious, but everybody loved the beef bulgogi and Korean glass noodles dish, Japchae. If you want any of these recipes, please comment in the description box below and I will share the recipe in my channel in the future. To begin with, we had the clear Korean chicken soup. It is very refreshing and flavorful. I gave it a little twist by adding lemongrass and cilantro leaves, especially the stems, in its broth. Everyone loved it. To eat the chicken, we had 3 different types of dipping sauce: lemongrass garlic, sesame garlic, and spicy gochujang based sauce. Honey and soy glazed tender chicken wings with a little hint of spice. These were as delicious as it sounds. My kids loved them. I followed Chef Marian's recipe for spicy shrimp scampi, which is shrimp scampi with gochujang paste, a little Korean twist, and it turned out great. I've also prepared kimchis. After all, without kimchi, who can think about a Korean meal, right? My favorite was the cucumber kimchi because of the crunchiness. My daughter loved the radish kimchi. I prepared 2 different types of radish kimchis, sweet and sour radish kimchi and spicy radish kimchi. I also made napa cabbage kimchi, which is like the basic of all kimchis. Kimchis usually need 78 hours of fermentation in the refrigerator after you prepare them, and you can use them as side dish with any meat or fish or any rice or noodle dish, or by itself. Kimchis are traditional Korean side dish of salted and fermented vegetables with some spices like Korean red chili powder, gochugaru, spring onions, garlic, ginger, fish sauce, and rice wine vinegar. Korean people uses lots of fresh vegetables and protein in their diet. Some basic ingredients they use are the gochujang paste, which is like a fermented soybean paste, gochugaru, a Korean red chili powder. They also use sesame seed and sesame oil, fresh ginger, garlic, and spring onion a lot. I also made the Korean spinach side dish, which is my all-time favorite, also called sigumchi nammol. You'll find the detailed recipe in my channel. It's so easy to make and yet so refreshing and delicious. You can eat it as a side or as a salad by itself. Korean cooking uses very less oil. Almost all the dishes I made were just boiling and mixing together. Some of them used a little drizzle of sesame oil. After eating, you don't feel heavy or uncomfortable. Gochujang paste and Korean red chili powder is used in almost all the dishes to bring the flavor and bright color of the dishes. For example, Korean spicy chicken stew. Korean spicy chicken stew is a stew that incorporates lots of flavors from the vegetables, and it uses very little sesame oil at the end, a healthy, almost oil-free version of a curry. I prepared the very basic Korean egg fried rice, which is very easy to make, yet it goes well with so many other items. This always reminds me of my childhood, as my mom used to make this type of egg fried rice for my school tiffin box. That would make me happy and content. I've also prepared shrimp and fish fry in traditional Korean style egg and flour batter. Very basic seasoning, but so delicious. Most of the time, simple meals are the most delicious one to taste, right? Someone really loved the fried shrimp. As you can tell, he can't stop eating them. If you ask me which one is my most favorite Korean dish, I will probably say bulgogi. This is perhaps the most well-known Korean dish after kimchi. Thinly sliced tender beef steak marinated with a sweet and savory sauce mixture that melts in your mouth. This is the best. If you have never tried Korean bulgogi, please try and you'll fall in love with it. Next we had honey glazed salmon in Korean style, broiled in the oven with perfection. This is my all-time favorite way of enjoying salmon. So easy, so tender and delicious. Bulgogi, the traditional spicy rice cakes cooked in an anchovy broth with gochujang paste. This dish is very popular street food in Korea for the chewy texture. It is so fulfilling, but I had to keep the heat minimal for my kids. Japchae is my favorite Korean glass noodles. These noodles are made from sweet potato starch. Japchae is a stir-fried noodle dish with vegetables and meat, one of Korea's best loved dishes. This one is my favorite too.